as you see here, we're back for a movie review.
To become a yakuza is a choice. You trade one type of family for another. You can never go back.
The Outsider. Directed by Martin Zandvliet, the dude that did Land of Mine, which I still haven't checked out and I really want to check out. And also it's written by Andrew Baldwin, who wrote The Take back in 2016 that stars Idris Elba. And anyway, so back to this film, Outsider. And it stars Jared Leto, Tadanobu Asano, Rory Cochrane, Shiori Kutsuna, Emile Hirsch, and Kippei Shiina. Anyone else, check down below. So what's this film about? Well, it's 1954 and it's after the Allied occupation of Japan, and Nick Lowy, played by Jared Leto, is the only non-Japanese inmate in a Osaka prison, and most of the other inmates are yakuza criminals because they're recognized by their tattoos. And then Nick saves a yakuza by the name of Kiyoshi, played by Tadanobu Asano. And basically he saving his life brings him into this yakuza family, and basically he's just gotta scope things out, being the white guy in a yakuza clan. And that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, I applaud them for casting a lot of Japanese people. I mean, it's taking place in Osaka, and it speaks a lot of Japanese, and I appreciate that. And we have Jared Leto trying to be a sort of convincing white dude, sort of understanding Japanese but not type of character. So that's alright. And there's a lot of yakuza elements about the whole family and honor and brotherhood. It's all there in terms of talking about it. And then we also have Shiori Kutsuna playing the love interest, who is also starring in Deadpool 2. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, a lot of elements. Like visually, it's fine, and it's this awkward white dude thing, but they do cut fingers off. That was my base expectation requirement for this film to be fine. You can say cultural appropriation or what have you, doesn't matter to me. It's just a white dude who somehow survived the war and is in a prison, and he saved Yakuza, and they brought him in because he was useful type of thing. And I'm totally fine with that. And just respecting the whole, screwing up and cutting off your finger part, that's straight up Yakuza, as stereotypical as it is. If it didn't have this, I would be like, what's going on? But that's it. I think in terms of the scope and just the narrative, it's very basic. There's a lot of talk about honor and brotherhood and family, but you don't get a sense of the Yakuza clan. We get a sense of who Kiyoshi is, with him and his sister, just their relationship, and the head of the family. We get the whole honor and family part from that, but then the brotherhoodness, you don't feel it. None of the other Yakuza members are actually ever fleshed out, so you don't really care about them. And then you got a rival clan, and I mean, there is one sort of officer, I guess, in the Yakuza family where Kiyoshi is working with. He's sort of fleshed out, but he's just a hothead and just doesn't really have much character beside he just antagonizes everybody. And you got Emile Hirsch, who just shows up and recognizes Jared Leto, and that's it. Doesn't really do anything beyond that. So I think the biggest thing for me was that I didn't care about the family part, but yet there was so much family talk. And it sort of reminds me of like Fast and Furious. Family, 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 family. But at least family was sort of established in that entire franchise, where they just like, dude, we gotta care for this, blah, blah, blah. But here, like, I didn't care for any of the, basically extras that were playing the Yakuza family that Jared Leto was part of, which was unfortunate, because I feel like what they did was fine as long as if they really established the rest of the family and you can really feel the brotherhood between Jared Leto and the rest of them. I mean, he is the white guy, so I sort of wish that they interacted more and then show like how the foot soldiers of this family like sort of accept this white dude coming out of nowhere. And then seeing just like the guts that he have to cut his fingers off, and they would show respect to him. And I feel like that was all done behind camera and just assumed, but I never get a real sense of how they felt about him. And with this movie being 2 hours long, I definitely felt they could have covered that. If this movie was an hour and a half, and they did what they did here, I would have been fine. But they didn't really do much with their time, because they had 2 hours to sort of like really spend time with these characters. It took forever to establish even Jared Leto's character of him going into prison, being accepted in the family, and then sort of proving himself, but not really. It's just because he's following Kiyoshi around. So there's that. So there would have been tons of potential of exploring, like, just beyond the other officer not liking the white dude in the clan, but rather explore, like, I'm a foot soldier and my supervisor Kiyoshi likes this white guy. How do I sort of figure this out? What am I supposed to do? He's a white guy. He doesn't even belong here. And that would have been a really interesting narrative in terms of just seeing a character growth, maybe, in terms of just the foot soldiers, just learning about white people and Japanese, how do they compromise this, or even Jared Leto, who's trying to bridge that gap of like, hey, I respect your family, I have the honor, I'm one of your brothers. I mean, that actually happened, so I sort of wish that there was just more of that explored, and there wasn't, and I'm repeating myself already. But beyond that, I mean, the way that it was shot was fine, and pacing was draggy throughout the film, but cinematography, I think it captured that whole yakuza essence of just like what they're about and what they do, and they're not here to mess around. Though there's a lot of repetition in terms of just going to the offices, and I sort of wish there was more variety in terms of shots and just more character. I think these places would have been better with these sets. You sort of know what they establish and what they represent and all that. A lot deeper could have been, and I don't know why it was such a sort of shallow type of story. Maybe it is because it's Andrew Baldwin who just wrote this story, throw a white guy with yakuza families and let's see what happens, but rather explore all these interesting sort of conflict ideas and stuff like that. Anyways, I mean, was it a waste of time? I don't know. I'm always giving like the benefit of the doubt, or just less critical when films are filmed and they retain the original voice actors, sort of like cultural. They speak Japanese, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't make everyone speak English, which is great, so I always want to support films where the native tongue is represented and it's done well. And granted, there's a lot of subtitles, so if you don't like reading subtitles, you probably won't like this, but if you know Japanese, I think that will help, because it's legit Japanese instead of just random chatter in the background. Anyways, I talked enough. Jared Leto playing a white guy in a yakuza family. It was disappointing. It could have been a lot better, but it was building towards something that just never was built. That's it? Okay. And that is it for this movie review of The Outsider. Out!